The Boer War, also known as the Anglo Boer War, took place between 1899 and 1902 in South Africa. It was a conflict between the British Empire and two Boer republics, the South African Republic and the Orange Free State. The causes of the Boer War are multifaceted and rooted in a combination of political, economic, and social factors. Here are some of the primary causes. Imperialism and British expansion. The British Empire sought to expand its influence in southern Africa, driven by imperialistic ambitions. Imperialism is the practice of extending power over foreign nations, particularly through expansionism. The desire to control strategic territories and trade routes played a significant role in British policy in the region. Discovery of gold and diamonds. The discovery of valuable mineral resources, particularly gold and diamonds, in the Boer Republic's Transvaal and Orange Free State heightened tensions. The British were eager to control these resources, leading to conflicts over mining rights and economic interests. Nationalism and independence. Both the British Empire and the Boer Republics had strong nationalist sentiments. The Boers, descendants of Dutch settlers, wanted to maintain their independence and resist British encroachment on their territories. Jameson Raid, 1895. The Jameson Raid, an unauthorized attack by British colonialist Leander Starr Jameson in an attempt to provoke an uprising in the Transvaal, increased hostilities between the British and the Boers. While the raid itself failed, it deepened mistrust and contributed to the deteriorating relations. British annexations and Boer grievances. The British annexation of territories like the Transvaal in the past had created resentment among the Boers. Boer grievances included British interference in their internal affairs, leading to a desire for autonomy and independence. Arms race and militarization. Both the British and the Boers engaged in an arms race, increasing militarization in the region. The Boers, in particular, developed a well-organized and mobile military force, which initially caught the British off guard. Strategic concerns. The British were concerned about the strategic vulnerability of their Cape Colony due to the presence of independent Boer republics on its borders. The desire to secure control over the entire region and eliminate potential threats influenced British policy. Cultural and language differences. Cultural and linguistic differences between the predominantly English-speaking British and the Dutch-speaking Boers contributed to a sense of mutual distrust. Expansion of railway networks. The expansion of railway networks in the region also played a role, as it increased the speed and efficiency of military mobilization. Boer fear of British dominance. The Boers feared that British control would lead to the erosion of their traditional ways of life and the imposition of British institutions. Major events of Boer War. The Boer War was a complex conflict with several significant events that shaped its course. Here are some of the major events during the Boer War. Outbreak of war, 1899. The war began on October 11, 1899, when the Boers, suspecting a British invasion, preemptively launched attacks on British garrisons in the region. The conflict started with the Battle of Crepom and the Siege of Mafeking. Battle of Magersfontein. One of the early battles in the war, fought on December 11, 1899. The Boers, under the command of General Piet Cronje, successfully defended their positions against a British force led by General Methuen. Battle of Colenso, 1899. Fought on December 15, 1899, it was one of the battles during the initial phase of the war. The British, under General Buller, suffered a defeat, hampering their attempts to relieve the besieged town of Ladysmith. Siege of Ladysmith, 1899–1900. Ladysmith was besieged by Boer forces for 118 days. The British relief efforts were initially unsuccessful, with several battles fought to break the siege. Battle of Speenkoop, 1900. fought from January 23 to January 24, 1900. The British suffered a significant defeat in their attempt to seize the strategic Speenkoop Hill. Relief of Kimberley and Mafeking, 1900. British forces, led by General French, lifted the sieges of the towns of Kimberley and Mafeking in February 1900. Lord Roberts' advance. British forces, under Lord Roberts, launched a successful advance through the Orange Free State and captured Bloemfontein, the capital, on March 13, 1900. British occupation of Pretoria. Lord Roberts continued his advance, and British forces occupied Pretoria, the capital of the Transvaal, on June 5, 1900. Guerrilla warfare. After the capture of major Boer cities, Boer forces shifted to guerrilla tactics. Boer commandos, under leaders such as Christian de Wet and Louis Botha, engaged in hit-and-run attacks against British forces. Scorched earth policy and concentration camps, 1900 to 1902. To counter Boer guerrilla tactics, the British implemented a scorched earth policy, destroying Boer farms and infrastructure. The British also established concentration camps to intern Boer civilians, leading to significant hardships and high mortality rates. Treaty of Vereeniging, 1902. The war officially ended on May 31, 1902, with the signing of the Treaty of Vereeniging. The terms of the treaty granted limited self-government to the former Boer republics, which became British colonies. Formation of Union of South Africa. The aftermath of the war contributed to the formation of the Union of South Africa in 1910, which united the former Boer republics and British colonies. End of the war. The war ended on May 31, 1902, with the signing of the Treaty of Vereeniging. The Boer republics became colonies of the British Empire. The war had lasting effects on the region. The Boer War contributed to the eventual formation of the Union of South Africa in 1910, which united the former Boer republics and the British colonies. Impact of the war. The war had a significant human cost, with thousands of soldiers and civilians on both sides losing their lives. The war marked a shift in imperial dynamics, highlighting the limitations of British military power and contributing to a reassessment of imperial strategy. The seeds of apartheid, the system of institutionalized racial segregation, can be traced back to the aftermath of the Boer War. The war played a role in shaping the national identity of both the Afrikaner and British communities in South Africa.